I'm Mel,
And I'm Andrea.
and we've been asking ourselves, WTF? Where's the fun?
So, welcome to our podcast for heart-led business leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More impact, more wealth, more joy, and more magic, all while having even more fun than ever before.
As co-founders of FunX, we believe that life and business is way more fulfilling when you're following the fun.
So we're flipping the script on success, giving you permission to create from a whole new paradigm where you can have a lasting impact while nurturing your well-being and having a freaking blast along the way.
So join us each week for engaging solo episodes
and real conversations with experts who are embodying this new paradigm of leadership, spiritual wealth, business growth, and of course, fun.
If you're ready to reignite your spark, make bold moves, and lead from a whole new energy,
let's jump in and have some fun.
We just recorded a great podcast with Danielle Lemon.
So Danielle has 8 years of real estate investment experience and 3 years as a full-time financial planner. She specializes in helping soul-led entrepreneurs and visionaries, community builders to multiply their financial success to amplify their social impact. She guides clients in transforming both their wealth and their ability to create meaningful change.
And this podcast was so much fun. We talked about how she 10x'd her business, the struggles she went through in the July, and then what she did to get out of those struggles and had her best month ever. And we also talked about the who, not the how.
There's so many things here,
Yeah.
and she's honest. I think the thing I love the most about this podcast is it's real time of somebody who is creating and kind of paving the way through their business. So you're not going to want to miss it.
Welcome back to WTF. Where's the fun? I'm Mel.
And I'm Andrea.
And today we have a special expert in finance joining us, Danielle Lemon. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
This is so exciting.
I know you've been on our heart, especially because you have so many fun things going on, and it's just so cool. We're actually just chatting about how often we hear a lot of conversations and a lot of perspectives from people who have scaled, who've done the things, and it's almost like looking back on some of those, either those challenges, those growth opportunities. And what I think is unique about where you're at and what you're going to share today is that you are really launching and scaling and even creating in real time. So we're so excited to even just jump into that and really play in that energy with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm really honored to be here. You guys are so amazing and truly have been a part of this journey. I think really important to highlight in this whole process of talking about my journey, where I started, where I kind of am now, is going back to I think we met like August.
Yeah.
We connected. And it was one of those things where I had consistently seen you guys on social media. You're like popping up in my email box. So it does prove that these things work. Because I was really at that time feeling pretty stuck. When I met you, I know like the first phone call that we had was kind of figuring out, am I going to be a part of the fun experience? What kind of support do I actually need? And I think what's really even cool for myself in being in this launch mode is that when we would have connected in August, I was in like a very different zone and energy and just feeling really down. And I think I knew I wanted to get where I am today, but I was like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna get there. Like with where like how I was feeling very frustrated. I was definitely in the zone of like comparing myself to different people in the industry and really struggling to kind of I think find my own voice in it. And I think that I spent the first half of 2024 just like beating my head against the wall. Uh I had a really good year in 2023 and there was certain actions and activities that had helped me be really successful in 2023. But when 2024 came, I was like, okay, I have some bigger goals, some bigger dreams and ideas of what I want to hit. And so that I think I just tried doing what I did in 2023, but just more activity, which actually just led to, again, more burnout and frustration, uh, which I'm kind of prefacing on two, I think, the biggest goals that I've learned in the last year and like since connecting with you guys. Um, One is you really have to set a big vision for yourself because you're always going to be kind of trailing behind that. And two, it's really about the who and not the how.
Yeah. And you were getting stuck in the how,
Yes.
right? And I think so many people get stuck in the how, and it's almost like they can't see it. So they're in the how and they can't, it's like, get over that little hump, right? So, like, how did you do that then?
Yeah. So I was trying to take all the activities that I was doing in 2023 and then just doing more of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that I've gotten better at those activities or more effective. And I could actually probably do less activity if I was more effective in myself and my own energy and self belief and everything. And so the crumbling moment came in July when I decided that I was going to reach out to someone here in Vancouver, Lisa Munchode, who I'll just mention. She's been absolutely phenomenal. Give her a shout out. She um, is like a real estate investor. So if you ever want to talk to somebody about real estate, she has like 100 properties plus across Canada. Super, super knowledgeable. I reached out to her just kind of as like a friend and a mentor. And she invited me to this female entrepreneur event. Meanwhile, the exact same time, I'm like, okay, getting this email from Andrew and Mel that's like, do you want to have more fun? And you're like, are you like, I think it was like literally like programmed to me, like, are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling frustrated? It was just felt down. Niche did. I think also it was like the reel of Mel getting splashed with water.
Oh my gosh. That thing went very far out. And I'm very proud of
For me.
I'm very proud of that work.
Honestly, I was like, they're committed. Like it was fun, it was commitment, it spoke to me. And so that I booked the call with you guys. And in that session, it was really just like, well, if I make 20 grand this month, I'll join the fun experience. And you guys kind of were like, well, what if you join the fun experience and you make 20 grand? Um, was kind of I think the sentiment back to that was like, well, we can't promise you that you're gonna make 20 grand this month. But why don't you just move as though you're going to start making that?
Yeah.
And I had to sit with myself and get really raw and deep and vulnerable and be like, well, we're just gonna like, because I had was I mean I'm a financial advisor, but I was at that time really holding tight
Mm.
on money and like I coach people on being able to let go and just make especially working with other female entrepreneurs, make that investment. Even Even I was sitting in my office being like, "Okay, I need to do these admin tasks. I need to follow up on these people. I need to send these emails." Um, it was almost this holding on of, like, money in the sense of, like, my time, where I was like, "I'm too afraid to even go out and talk to somebody. I'm too afraid to actually go put myself in a room because if I'm taking that hour to go do that, then I'm not getting those admin tasks done."
Almost paralyzing.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us, for those of you who are in a similar like place in your business, I think that's a super relatable thing where you're like, I feel like I need to be in the coffee shop selling all the coffees instead of working on the business or in the business. Um, and so there's this really uncomfortable, whether it's literal time that you're uncomfortable with giving up to go and invest in those unknown ways that you're not sure how that's going to come back to you or physical money that you're like, okay, I want to invest in this fun experience or whatever it is. I'm going to have to put that money up first. And I don't know if that's going to come back.
Mhm.
And I think sitting in that moment of that teetering of like, okay, we're either going to stay being miserable where we're at, getting the results that we're getting, that we don't want, and thinking the way that we don't want to be thinking, or like, fuck it, put the hands up, surrender. Like, okay, I guess I'm gonna tap over into this and just go all in. And I think my advice on that is to just go all in. Like if you're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
maybe there's a conversation, like let's say you have a partner, that was something he talked about. I think one of the reasons I was drawn to you as well is like you guys are a partnership and you have to navigate business together and life together. And there's maybe some deeper conversations that have to be had. Um, so whether it's a partner that you need to talk to or just a journal that you need to relentlessly go at, to figure like to have that conversation with yourself to just be like, it's okay to invest in these things, whether it's time, money, or energy. When I invest in myself, it always comes back.
I think this is so, so good on so many levels because I remember chatting with you and it was I don't know how the universe brought us together because I have no idea, but I'm grateful they did. And then we had
That's our great email marketing sequence. Come on.
I literally don't ever and the funny part is I never send emails back then, especially. And I just happened to be like, follow my intuition. I'm like, I'm gonna send this out. And I remember you feeling so deeply connected with it. But in our conversation, I think the one word, if I were to describe it, is you just needed permission. And I remember you even saying that. You're like, I just need permission. Like you had the vision, you had the drive, the commit, literally all the things. And it
Yeah.
was almost like a switch went off and then you're like, so you mean that I can actually like do this, but like also without the pressure. I
Yeah.
think with the permission came that permission to like release all of this pressure on yourself, which is I think what you're saying, even in this like, well, fuck it. I might as
Yeah.
well let go of all the shoulds, all the things I need to be doing, all the old ways that maybe I have created some sense of control. And I think that's part of really what we do is Mel and I have like we're at our next level of growth and honestly I'm going through that now. It's like because I think every time we hit that next level there's that calling to surrender, that permission piece, and there's also usually I'm going to say like not necessarily a low, but a point when you're like
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to have to just sleep and
Yeah.
trust and all of those things. And let's say that was one of those moments for you or one of those lower points. The cool part about this journey is that at the same time, and this is again what Mel reminded me of this morning, it's like everything's changing. So it's like it's impossible to stay in
Yes.
that low point. And for you,
Because when you're in it, you're in it.
and it feels like this is going to be the rest of my eternity here. And even watching you, a lot of people say they're going to do things, um, but to see you actually, I can truly say like embody it. That is very different, and that is still obviously an evolution. But um, even in I don't remember, was it October, November? You were celebrating like one of your biggest months yet.
And I remember sitting there and I said to Andy, of course she is. I go, because when we talked to you in August, you had the courage to almost like ask for help when you're in the low and you're like, there is a sense of shame that comes with it, especially if you're like, I'm squeezing onto my finances and I'm a financial planner and an expert, but yet I feel this way. There is you took the courage, the step, and then I remember being like, I didn't have a fucking doubt in my mind that you would get there at all. Like I told Andy, I was like, I'm not even surprised. You're so determined, you're so tenacious. Like you have these big goals that are pulling you.
Today's episode of WTF Where's the Fun is sponsored by The Fun Experience, a curated mastermind for established business owners, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More magic, more joy, more wealth, and more fun than ever before. So if you're ready for a peer-to-peer mastermind that's helping you to embody more leadership, more impact, and make bold moves, The Fun Experience is where it's at.
So let's play in there a little bit more because I
Yes.
think it is that even you were sharing like that one thought that can create like such a major shift. And I think one of the things that you've been saying, I would say consistently is like, and I'm sure a lot of people have read the book, 10x is better than 2x,
Hmm.
but not everybody actually does it.
Yes.
And I can say that you've done it. Even, well, we'll just use finances even as a marker for going from August to having one of your best months in the fall. It's like if we were to look at those numbers, you literally 10x your business. So what do you, and I know that's not the full marker, but what would you say has been the biggest shift, or like how did you do that? Let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll tell you like a little bit about the routine of it
Yeah.
and some of the mindset shifts. So my friend and mentor Lisa, she and I were connecting as well. And she suggested the 10x is easier than 2x book. Um, which really opened up my mind because I was really sitting in that 2x of like, just, oh, I'll just do more activities and then being burnt out and being like, okay, I really don't want to do more activities. Like, if this is how we get to the next thing, like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And she had said the who, not the how, just like, in a session that we had together. And then I really started thinking about, okay, who are people that I want to be surrounded by?
Mm.
Yeah.
And she then was speaking at an event here in Vancouver, a bit female entrepreneur event. And she said, I have an extra ticket. Do you want to go? Like tickets were like $600. And I was like, no. But she had the ticket. So gave me the free pass in terms of being like, I don't have to make the investment. It was amazing because I met my new friend, Lisa, there. So again, who not how. She is 6 months younger than me, which we're basically just the same age.
Yeah.
She has over, like every month she makes over six figures, um, like euros, which is
Yeah.
a lot of that. And I was just like, it, because you guys are a little bit older than me. Lisa's a little bit older than me. A lot of the mentors in my business are older than me. And I'm like, okay, like these are like, do I need to wait 5 years to have this success? Do I need to wait 10 years to have this success? Because that seems to be kind of the age that people are embodying or having the success. And it was just like a smack in the face that she was even 6 months younger than me, had been doing it for like the last 2 years. And I was like, okay, and if not, like, if she could do it, like, why not me? Like, what is she doing
Yes.
that I'm not doing? And even jumping on your FunX calls. Like, I've been to every FunX call that you guys had throughout the fall. And I'm really excited to hear about what you're going to be doing in 2025 because I definitely want to continue on that. That's been a huge, like, in terms of what how about the doing, that was a huge support. Like, seeing, I think it's Carly, she has the,
Yep.
Yeah.
like, listening to her talk and her energy and just so many people in that group, I was just like, okay, if them, like, why not me? And like, what is that energy that they're holding? How are they just talking about things? And really looking at that and going, okay, why can't I do this right now? And then I've been doing Mind Valley as well.
Hmm.
Been Woman Source, the Megan Hiller manifestation course. I don't know if you've checked it
Yeah.
out. Which really helped me get clear on, you know, in September when I went to this event and met Lisa and everything, I was saying, okay, I'm going to open up this financial wellness group.
Mm.
Like, this is my dream. Like, this is something I've been journaling about for like the last few years, and I'm going to do it in the next like 5+ years. And then I go to that event and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it in the next 2 to 3 years, thinking I'm being really bold. Be like, 2 to 3 years, I'm in. And then all of a sudden, doing all this journaling work and this manifestation course, reading the 10x is easier than 2x. I was like, why not next year?
I just got like chills.
So did I.
Why not next year? And I also, I should incorporate in all this, my business partner, Shima, who has been a major support. So I haven't been doing this alone. I do have a business partner. He and I met 2 years ago, and we started having our own, kind of entrepreneur events. I think the first one was in September, October maybe. We've
Mm.
done like 4 so far. Uh, and that was kind of us practicing like dating, being business partners.
Ye I love that. I love how you say dating as business
We're just
partner.
gonna feel the waters a little
'Cause
bit.
that's a real thing. You gotta yeah, you gotta date a little bit. You gotta feel each other out. Is this chemistry or not? Like, and if it's not, let's break up early.
Exactly. You get the same views or
Yeah.
vibe, like so. Um, yeah, so that's been a big support in all of this. But I think really getting clear that like, okay, with that support, with the people in my community, like why not this next year? And not putting it off. And when I got into that energy, okay, we want to open up a financial office. It's gonna be 8,200. I like started going and looking at the actual space and everything. It's gonna be 8,200 square feet. It's gonna be a yoga studio in it. It's right smack dab in the middle of like Full Harbor, downtown Vancouver. So real estate rent's not gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
And going, okay, how much am I going to need to make in order to actually uphold this vision? And getting really clear on those numbers, that was the month that everything changed.
Mm.
So it wasn't, well, I'm getting goosebumps right now. It wasn't until I had the vision
Yeah.
and, like, you could say energetic container, the container that could hold that vision. Like, if you say, I want to make $1 million, but there's no reason why or vision to it, I think it's more challenging because for what do you need that $1 million to do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm not emotionally connected to having a bigger house, to going and buying more clothes, to so there has to be an emotional connection to why you really care to make that money.
Yeah.
And the moment I went, okay, we're going to open up this financial firm in a year. This is the space that I'm planning, like the little physical office space. This is the business partner and the people on my team that I'm doing it with. This is my community who I'm pouring into, who is pouring back into me. That's when that big one came. And I was like, people have been telling me this for the last 5 years, and I
Yeah.
get it till this moment.
Amazing.
And I hope you're okay with me sharing because I think it leads to a couple things in this. Like, who, not the how. So you set the intention of now focusing on almost like what's the essence? Where are these people? So you're asking better questions instead of like, why not me? I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like the focus is on, if we're rock climbing, we're looking down. I'm like, I'm just trying not to die at this point. So now that's where our energy is going. But now it's like the focus starts to shift to, okay, I I can't be the only person in the world who has the same goal, desire. Like, where are those people? Getting more tuned into them. Then, boom, this great example of what's possible comes, and she's making over 6 figures. Then you're connecting with your vision, and now it's like giving yourself again, like clarity, connection with what is that thing that's actually truly important and aligned for you. And then because of that, you now then have that 6 figure month. It's like, to me, this is what it's all about. And it's really what we share. Like, this is the whole essence of the fun experience, is helping people to shift from that old way where we're
Yeah.
doing. And it's really focused on like traditional business. Like, you're doing the things, I'm checking the boxes, I'm showing up, and we can only sustain that for so much to then shift into a whole new way of being where truly you are this is where I think the real work is. Like, what is the vision? Like, being so clear on that, and I would say energetically clear, and that's always an unfolding. But then I think it's like that mountain, you're like now focused on that. So all your energy is going towards that opposed to the looking down piece. And then because you're focusing on that, There's going to be different things for you to put your energy towards, which again, I think is the manifestation. It's the alignment. And then when you do take action, it's just going to be such from a different energy and more potent and more powerful. Like you literally just did a mini opening
Yes.
and you had 80 people there. And you even said, like, I don't know, it just randomly I had all these events come and I got to invite people. And it just like,
There's no coincidence.
it's so cool.
Yeah. Honestly, like putting that event together and like with the help with Shima and like our team, like it was like easy.
Yes, and that's how you know, like, that's how you know you're in the flow is when things are just easy.
And what I think is important for people to know too, it's like that is the new like the challenge starts to shift. Like the new challenge is probably maybe let's see how easy it can get. Let's see how
Yeah.
let's see how fun it can get.
Yeah.
Let's see like
What else is possible?
yeah, like what else? Like what else is possible? And then um I think how important that is just to inspire other people. Like, what a gift
Yeah.
that you went on this journey. Like, how fun to have a financial planner who actually understands the energetics behind
Yes.
money and impact and things that are truly important. So it was like you kind of had to, not you had to, but I think you walked that path first. So now you're also going to become so magnetic for other aligned, like soul-led entrepreneurs, business owners, humans that are like, if she did it, why not me? And it's like, I think that's the whole ripple effect of,
Just like that lady that you met randomly at that event, you were like, she had gone before you. So she gave you permission to be like, I'm fucking young. I can make this kind of money. And I want to do this and I want to live a healthy life. And so she gave you the permission because she had gone before you. And now you have the same gift for others.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And I'll do this.
Yes.
so, okay. So now it's like there's this new game, if you want to call it. So
You're at
new game.
a new level.
Yeah, it's like a video game. You're playing at that next level. So now it's like you're unfolding your what are you calling this? Is it aligned wealth living? Is that what the
Yeah. Aligned living well.
Aligned living wealth. I love it.
so then with that, what do you foresee? Let's even play in 2025 is going to be your focus for making sure that you feel supported for yourself, but also the vision. What do you think is going to be important for you?
Yeah. So a lot of people like at the beginning of the year, they were like, what's your year? Like, what's your words for 2025 that you're like focusing on? And I have two words. One is vitality, and the other one is sharing. And the vitality comes first because, into what you're just saying, like, how can we make this easier? Like, the more, um, like, I said after that event, I was like wiped out for 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was in my most magnetic energy after that, which is totally fine. But I think it's how do I stay in that magnetic energy
Yeah.
through eating really well, through exercising and moving my body regularly, through having, good conversations with people, to I don't know, traveling and having some new experiences that keep re-inspiring me and these different things that we could do on our daily, weekly basis, to really keep that vitality up, that energy up, just feeling good, enjoying life. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs in the whole bag, but vitality is like that number one word. And I think just what's coming in my mind right now with the FunX experience is like having fun. Like vitality is like having fun and like making it fun. Because why bother doing it? It's not going to be
Exactly.
fun for the way, and joyful and bringing meaning and sense of fulfillment. And then the other word of sharing is again back to that 10x is 2x. Like we really only two things, like one thing I need to do this year to share the vision.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in good energy. Then the only thing I really need to do is just share, like, this is what we're doing. Are you in? Are you interested? Is this something that's up your alley? If so, like, we've got this, this, and this, like,
Yeah.
up board. So for 2025, I think it's really about just sharing, um, just sharing from like an open heart and a place of alignment, and just I'm excited for all. Like, there's gonna be lots of new people coming into my life, lots of energy. I'm really excited to see who those people are gonna be, and to grow with them. I think another big lesson in 2024 was like you tune to what we're talking about. Like, you can heal so much in community. And those Fun X calls are amazing because, again, like Mel says something, Andrea says something, Carly says something, Lisa says something, and now you have like permission to do these things. And you just like, you hear about a struggle, whether it's like you're a mom and you're trying to figure out how am I going to run a business as a new mom, and you just start getting these pieces of permission and this like greater understanding of experience that's possible, and you're like, oh, okay, I can like start incorporating that. And so um yeah, this year is just about sharing and having community and growing together. uh is like, I guess.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
On like I can feel your heart in it. So that's the genius in it. But the other genius from a business side, it really is about the underdog of just sharing. Like you're
Mhm.
the visionary, so it makes sense that you're sharing the vision. And I think that's where we get stuck sometimes in that next level is actually sharing. And I've seen you. I've seen you on stages in the fall. I've seen you in
Yeah.
groups. I've seen you sharing. So I think that's such a great reminder for all of us, myself included, in like if we truly want to not only make the money, create the vision, have the impact, we need to share with an open heart and like truly from the stance of like this is my vision and it's like inviting someone to a party. Do you want to come to my party? It's like if not, that's okay. If you do, awesome. Uh,
But then to invite somebody, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So do you want to share a little bit about your vision? Like, what's your vision?
yeah. So the the goal, the vision, is to get keys on August 25th for the 8,200 square foot um office space in downtown Vancouver. And we're going to be opening up ideally after some renovating on January 1st, 2026. And it's going to be a financial advisory office and a wellness space. So there is going to be a yoga studio. We're going to have daily yoga, breath work, sound baths, um, maybe some cold plunge. See if we can, I don't know if that's going to be allowed in the lease, but something like that you can come and do on a daily basis. And the whole point is to create community. So one of the kind of unique aspects to all of this is having different business owners or people that are in their zone of genius as a part of this community. So that you can actually rent a space. So because I mean 8,200 square feet, we're gonna have like 12 permanent offices that people are gonna be like permanently committing to. And then there's gonna be 8 offices, ideally, that you can just rent like a WeWork. Like you can come in, book it for a couple hours. Maybe you're a video content creator and you want to sit down and talk to a business owner. Maybe you're an accountant and you want to sit down and talk to somebody. Maybe you're a coach and you want to sit down. Or it's just going to be this really great place for you to connect. Imagine you're a coach, like you two come in to the center, right? And you decide, okay, we've got this group of clients that we're serving today. We're going to do some breath work and some yoga together. And we're going to sit one on one afterwards. We can have a session together. It's really going to be able to use this space for your business to benefit the community. So you're in your zone of genius, working within the community. And yeah, this is basically a space. I want to have one in Toronto in the next few years.
Wow.
In Soka, everyone,
Yes.
Sedona. We're thinking like Southern California. Uh,
It might not be your market, but I feel like Italy should be on there.
Yeah.
I had a dream not last night, but the night before. I opened an office in Switzerland.
Cool. Let's go. Let's go.
I can't remember Italy. I love Italy. So
Uh, and then if somebody wanted to work with you, how can they work with you? What are the different ways they could work with you?
So yeah, you can either what we were launching on Thursday night, which was really cool, is because we were able to actually uh rent out the community room in the building that we're gonna be in. So just like energy wise, it was really nice to be in that same building. Um we were launching, it was the mini grand opening for all of the wellness events we're gonna have for this year to kind of get people ready in the mindset that hey, come 2026, this is something you can do on a daily basis. So every Thursday, we're gonna have different wellness events. The grand opening did breathwork and yoga. We have another breathwork session this Thursday. The following Thursday, we're gonna be doing some sound baths with one of the best sound baths people in Vancouver. So I'm super excited about that. And so that'll continue for the rest of this year so that you know that if you want to do um some wellness events on Thursdays, that this is your spot to be in Vancouver. Um and and then we'll be launching it full time for the next year. So that's one way to connect. It's just as a community member. We also on Mondays do financial workshops. So last night we did a big deep dive into RSP season and kind of the different intricacies because most of us are like, yeah, I know what an RSP is, put some money in, get a deduction. But, it's really important to know how to strategize that. Maybe as an entrepreneur, it doesn't make sense to have an RSP. Or maybe you can actually borrow somebody into an RSP, use the home buyer's plan, and actually go buy a house.
Yeah.
Like just like right through. So different education sessions. So that's another way to kind of connect and be a member. Or you can work as a client. So in my tag here on Instagram, it says I help, I think, female entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general, that are soul led, that are visionary and building the community that want to 10x. So basically everything that I've been going through, like let's help you have that shift in your finances. And I had a really good conversation with a client of mine who has her own business. And she was like, a few years ago, this I read this book from, I don't know what the book was called. Guy, and he was like really dampering on financial advisors or planners that like it's not worth it. And I think that it really depends on who you're working with. If I go into RBC and the person maybe has a mutual fund license or maybe doesn't, and is this is like not a good thing or a bad thing, but let's say you're a business owner, you want to 10x your business. This person's like employed, making I don't know, making let's say I don't know, $40,000-$50,000 a year, and you're trying to look at how can I make this next year like a 10x, like $1 million business. To me, it's gonna come down to how can that person help you shift
Yeah.
what needs to be shifted to move in that direction. And then what are some of those just financial tools that we can use to help support that and setting up a proper strategy. Because- but it's really, I think it comes down to is that person understand or moving towards a place that you're moving towards or have they
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I think especially as, entrepreneurs, like and I think, 1, you give them permission, 2, you get it, but to have that yeah, like, I want someone that's creative, that is
Yes.
also gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, this is possible. This might not make sense on paper, but, like, let's do it." But also I think there is that's actually I'm thinking of Stacey Millard for this. So if you haven't been on her podcast, you need to go on her podcast. You're very aligned. She's our fractional CFO, more so accountant. And why we love working with her is not only is she accountant, she has a business. Like she is a business owner.
Yeah.
So same with you. It's like you're a business owner and to like and I think with that comes so much more understanding that
Yeah.
you get it, you feel it, you're there, you're walking alongside. In some cases you're going first. Like it's really cool to have, I think, a team that is doing something that you want to do. So to me that just makes sense. So we'll make sure that we include your links and all the information if people want to get a hold of you. Do they have to be in Vancouver? Can they do virtual?
well Yeah, I can serve clients in pretty much all my calls are on Vancouver, even if it's or on Zoom, even if it's in Vancouver. But anywhere in BC, anywhere in Alberta, anywhere in Ontario, anywhere in Quebec. Haven't gotten a license in any other provinces because there hasn't been demand. But if there was all of a sudden a lot of demand from Manitoba, maybe. Uh, Also California. So I am also going to be licensed in the US as well.
Cool.
Amazing.
So fun. So if you were to leave with sharing one last thing from your heart to our listener's heart, what would you want to share?
Ooh. Um, I think that like one, people should do the Phonics experience. Like genuinely, I'm not just saying that to like pump up.
We didn't pay her to.
Oh, but we might run an ad now. Yeah.
But genuinely to join the Phonics, really find out who is it that's going to help you with managing this. Well, I don't know if everybody wants the 10x this year, but if that's what you want to do, or who do you like? Maybe you just want more friends in your life. Like, who are those people you really want? Um, yeah, I think just focus on that. Who put yourself in some new environments, meet some new people. Um, I'll finish with this. I have this little sculpture on my living room table that's little people holding hands. And I was looking at it this morning as I was having my morning cacao. And I was just thinking with everything that's going on in the world right now, especially in the political sphere, is just like it's just about these little people holding hands. And they're like huddled around this little fire looking thing. And it's just I think what I want to leave people with, it's like it is about the food. It's like who you're with, who you're going through life with, who you're being as you're doing all these things. And just I think as humanity, if we can just like stick to that and hold each other's hands and be like, we're gonna move forward together versus separate, I think that's the most important.
Yeah, I love it. That
Yes.
honestly, that is where the magic happens.
Community. Yeah.
So if you want to Funex your business, come hang out with us. Danielle, we're so grateful for you. Honestly, we're beyond excited for what you're creating.
Yeah.
Not just for yourself, but like it's so needed and it's so fun. So I can see us coming to Vancouver and doing something fun in your space, maybe celebrate and
Like a fun experience in Vancouver.
yeah.
I'm planting that seed. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to WTF. Where's the fun?
We're Andrea and Mel, and we're so excited to be on this journey with you to see how fun it can get.
If today's episode brought a little bit more fun into your world, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review.
And remember, life and business is so much better when you're following the fun. So let's have some fun.